welcome back. We are here for Brindlewood Bay, Golden Grifters, episode 20. Oh my gosh. So, we will start off with a previously on, all right, and that will drift into our cozy vignettes once everybody kind of says like one or two sentences of what they remember specifically from last time. A lot had happened, of course, but yeah. I mean, what do we think the characters remember doing? Like the montage in the very beginning before the theme song goes.
Well, somebody had a date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody found a fascinating new way to make a date awkward.
I have no defense.
Nor do you need one.
Yeah, thank you. Play it by the rules over here. We went and visited the Blue Velvet Inn. And for some reason I wrote, the date bombed as hell. Oh, that makes sense now. Oh, the date, comma, bombed as hell. Got it. And Mazi saw a haunted server.
Pearl saw a haunted server. Mazi didn't
Oh,
believe me.
Right. Pearl saw the haunted server.
Mazi was eating snacks.
Yeah, but you also figure too, I mean, like, Mozzie's also hung out with Walter the most, so by this time she's like,
Ghost, whatever.
Whatevs.
Snacks, ghost.
Snacks. Snacks are more real.
Snacks are more real.
Trying to find out about Dominic's hotel room involved Pearl distracting Dominic while Mazi distracted the mousy and slightly awkward clerk at the counter, Elias, while Sai swiped some information. And I found that somebody, maybe Elias, had a whole collage photo collection, whatever, from Claudia's modeling career.
A shrine. Yep. And then we went to the Club Silenzio. Oh no, let's not skip over the other thing that happened.
I was gonna say, yes, there was another murder. No big.
No big deal.
Just Anthony.
Another. Yeah.
Yeah, a stalkerish fan killed in Claudia's hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then yes, Club Silenzio. Go ahead.
Where we were all dressed immaculately.
Yes. Yes. And including Frank. Frank was dressed, as I put in my notes, deliciously. There were some people with masks. There was a show. Yeah, it's pretty swanky, spooky, hits all the right notes. And then our good mousy friend Elias came out and was not so mousy as, what was the name? Flagrante
Delicto.
Yeah, and we were all entranced. So entranced. Much entranced. Wow.
Such wow. Much entranced.
I think the theme song, as we do in the opening credits, it's changed. So instead of the usual, like, what you did during the day and all this kind of stuff, I want to say that the opening theme has taken on like a smoky, sultry kind of vibe where it's like, like low mellow jazz, or just kind of like lounge singing and such. And so if our theme had words, like, you'd just hear this voice and then just picture these deep red lips against, like, near a microphone. And when you do your cozy vignettes, I would like to hear like your scene as getting ready for this evening getting dressed in your particular suit or dress, and then like kind of give us a visual of how that feels to you, right? And of course, because of your crowns, like being where they are, it's like, include all the usual fun stuff in there.
So, I'll go first, I guess. And you want us to do as we were getting ready, or almost like a little bit of a rewind, I guess, from getting ready for the club. So I will say it's going to be, it'll be that kind of shot that's off to the side where you're seeing Mazi through the reflection of like a mirror, at like one of the dressing tables or something. She's like flicking through her closet looking for what it is, what she's deciding to wear. And maybe I pick out a couple different ones and I'm like trying them on, looking at like a full length mirror so then you can see like the tool, you can see me from the behind and the front reflected all around. And as I'm sort of like holding up I'm going to say a black dress, and then I have the red dress that I end up picking. I'm going to switch back to the black dress. And originally I put, you see me kind of walk off to the side, assuming I'm going to like a bathroom or something, come back and I have the black dress on, and it's got in the back, so it clasps at the top. And in the back, it has actually similar to the shirt I'm wearing, where it kind of like hooks open into sort of like that diamond shape where it sweeps down in the back. And you'll see that cutout is actually an eye. I can't see it because it's reflected in that mirror again that I'm not looking in. The camera is. And it's just kind of this eye, and it's just gonna blink, and then it's gone. As I'm sort of getting it array, I try on a hat and then decide, no, I want a different one. And I go and I swap into the red dress or the red outfit I end up wearing.
Who's next?
You're muted.
You're just getting it right off the bat, just talking on mute. I wanted to get it out of the way.
Somebody's got to do
it. You're welcome. I'll go next. Sai is getting ready. She is no stranger to classy situations, right? She rubbed elbows in Europe as a youth. She is sitting at her dressing table, and she does have one of those old-fashioned dressing tables where it's the mirror and the cosmetics and the chair that's velvet tufted. And you can see her preening and primping in the mirror, and Caviar is near her feet. And while she's getting ready, you're looking into the mirror over her shoulder as she begins to apply lipstick, and the moody jazz is going in the background. And in the reflection of the mirror over Sai's shoulder, you can see her closet in the background, which is open and dark in the interior. And the interior of the closet has an unsettling, persistent shadow that seems to be moving independently of anything else that's moving in the room. And it sort of curls like smoke around the interior of the closet and begins to peek its way out of the bottom corner of the closet. And then Caviar turns around and looks right at the closet, and the shadow recedes suddenly.
Pearl is doing her makeup as well. She's clearly taking her time. She has an array of cosmetics, which she rarely wears these days. But she's meticulously, no, this shade of eyeshadow, yes, which of these lipsticks, um, comparing very carefully. Her hair is currently held back with a band so that she can keep it out of her face while she's working. Uh, but there's a window visible over her shoulder as she's doing this, and it's late evening. Uh, but there are some lights visible outside. Looks like neighbor's backyard has some lights, things like that. Um, but those start winking out one by one. And even the lights in this room seem to be dimming slightly. And Pearl sort of half notices that part. Looks up, looks at the light bulb, as if thinking, should change that soon. And then the light brightens up again, and the lights behind her come back, and she goes back to what she was doing.
Beautiful. But maybe as we hear the oh my. Oh man, these pictures in chat. I think as you know, feel rather than hear the sultry music or the strains of the theme song like turning really like curling like smoke from a red lip. Um, maybe you drift into some kind of dream. Or do you think it happens like when you're actually at the club listening to Flagrante Delecto? What do you think, Pearl?
At the club, I think.
Okay, that's fine. So, if you want to go ahead and do that wonderful dream sequence, or is it me? I have to give you a dream sequence.
It's your dream sequence to give.
Okay. Yeah, I will say at this point, you guys have exceeded your number of dark conspiracy clues beyond what is needed to move into the finale. So, this is the last mystery. This is the mystery that will wrap things up, kind of, sort of, but lead you right into like the conspiracy end. So I'm just gonna make this one up. I think as you listen to Flagrante sing, perhaps you're sitting there, Pearl, and it is smoky here. The cafe has changed from like the beautiful roasted smells of the coffee and the dark nutty flavors of the pastries into this almost completely new venue in this like underground hangout, right? I mean, you're smelling the different kinds of cigarettes, possibly cigars that are being indulged in here. You are, getting that acrid smell of like, possibly some spilled whiskey or whatever, the burn of some bourbon, and you're just following into the notes that is sung, and somehow what you're hearing as the sight of your companions near you, the sight of the stage kind of fades from view. I think the notes start slowing down for you and becoming more resonant and almost sounding like the tolling of a bell. A bell at sea. A bell of something's coming. It becomes a little bit more serious as there are those that are shouting in the distance. Can't quite hear what they say. It's almost like they're warning against something is coming. Something in the sky. Something that has always been here. And then you hear some running past you see some hooded figures blurry in your vision as if you're underwater and just kind of watching this scene through blurred glass or storm. And there are twinkling lights even in the storm, but then you realize they're not twinkling lights. You realize that they're glowing eyes, peering through mists, poking through the jagged edges of the hard rain. And then the patter and the blowing of the wind starts speeding up again, and then you go into the final notes of Flagrante's latest song as they are up on stage. They're half leaning back, partly standing up, and the microphone in their one arm is up as they sing to the ceiling and land on a perfect high note. And then we'll slowly bring the microphone down before they look suddenly at the audience, and then the light goes out, and then they turn quickly with a swish of silk and tulle.
Mm.
Do you make a sound, Pearl? Do you think you make any
I
kind of...
I think there's a little bit of a okay. Did did anyone did anything weird happen there?
Nothing outside of that was probably the most mesmerizing act I've ever seen.
Real talent.
Yeah. I just maybe I'm not getting enough sleep lately. Maybe I'm having little micro naps. I don't know, but it's hard to explain.
You're not imagining
Rain.
things. You hear Walter's voice, like, in between you, Pearl, and I think whoever's next to you, whether it be Mazi or Sai.
Aha!
It's still
Walter.
dark. It's still dim.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
lights,
yeah.
the house lights haven't gone up or anything like that.
His voice just pops in.
Yeah.
His voice just pops in. You kind of see him there, like maybe like the front of his face, but it's fine because nobody else is really, like, noticing him because it's so dark and dim
And smoky.
and smoky. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
nobody really notices. But yeah, he kind of pokes his head in between you and just like, nah, you weren't imagining anything.
Could you see it or?
Yeah, clear as day. Well,
I mean, the rain made it hard to see clearly, but the glowing eyes.
yeah, you can hear a shudder in Walter's voice as he says, it's like, yeah, been seeing more of that lately. I'm actually surprised you've been seeing it too.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've been having really disturbing dreams. And sometimes when I thought I was awake. Do you know what's going on?
You heard them calling out, didn't you? The bell tolling, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Something is a-coming. I felt it. I felt it back in Devilwood. That's kind of why I hitched a ride. And a nice ride. A nice ride it was, ma'am. He's kind of looking at you, Mazi. And, yeah, I'm appreciative. But now, whatever is haunting there is nearing here. It doesn't seem exactly the same, but it feels very similar.
Okay.
How long have you been experiencing things, Walter?
Since
Strange
Devilwood.
visions. since Devilwood. And
But
then
I mean, I can't. When I experience them, imagine watching TV, but imagine that you're actually in it. Whatever you see on TV, that you're actually in that scene. So if you're in a storm or you're in a battle, you're right in the thick of things. And that's sometimes what happened to me, being as ghostly as I am, I guess. Yeah. And when that happens and I'm in the middle of it, it's like getting caught in the grip of something that you can't fight, like a current in the ocean. And so I can't manifest until I can pull myself ashore. So if I've disappeared, I'm going against the current, trying to get back.
you're stuck in one of these scenes.
Yeah,
Echoes, almost.
that's a good way to put it. An echo.
But is it an echo of what's happened or something that's going to happen?
I think this is one of the few times you've seen him smile. Usually he has a look of worry on his face, but I think this is the first time you've seen him smile. I think on this side, I don't think time moves the same way. I think that just like the currents of water, I think time moves in different currents, parallel and opposite, and maybe even overlapping with each other. Just gotta try and not get caught up in the swirl of it, I guess. Are you gonna be all right, Miss Pearl?
Yeah. I'm okay. Yeah. I just need to try to get some better sleep, I guess, so that I'm at least not conking out when I think I'm awake.
I don't think you can help it these days. Whatever's coming, it's coming quick. And it's like it's feeding. It's like it's feeding off of all this death. And you kind of see, like, you know, as Walter contemplates this, it's like you see his face kind of like as if he's sitting back in a chair and leaning away from the light. Then it's almost like he fades into the background and he disappears. But yeah. And then while this has been going on, I think Flagrante has kind of like, you know, gone to take a break, you know, backstage or whatever, behind the curtain, and people are talking and such, like, you know, as they're here. And I think Frank's here, and, well, again, I mean, it's almost like as if time has moved very strangely, right? Because it seemed like you were there, stuff happened over the Blue Velvet, and then now you're here at Club Silenzio, and even Claudia's here. Can't quite tell the look on her face, like seeing Flagrante being almost a mirror image of what she was like, you know, when she was young. But I mean, Dominic's here, Claudia's here. I think even yeah, some of the people that you wouldn't suspect, it's like, you know, making it after the hubbub at the Blue Velvet. It's like, you know, they actually made it to this performance. So, but you can choose to talk or investigate or what have you while you're here at the club.
I know, Pearl, you were trying to talk to Dominic at the Blue Velvet Inn. Did you want to give it another stab?
I think it wouldn't hurt. Is he sitting with Claudia, or are they separate? Okay.
No. He's sitting with Claudia. I think even with his half mask, I think you can see how Frank is still looking longingly at Claudia, even though he's not trying to get in her space.
Oh boy.
He has other people serving their table. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to step over and not try to immediately invite myself to sit, but I will step over and say, I'm glad to see you out and enjoying the evening after such a distressing afternoon, or such a distressing time, early evening, saying to Claudia particularly. Are you all right?
Yes, it was such a shock. The sheriff, of course, was his usual intrusive self. But it is necessary. I mean, that was so shocking. Again, I mean, he was there and he was in my room, and I always tried to think of what Enzo would do, but I just could not do anything.
Well, it's much easier for a detective who is both experienced in such matters and, well, fictional, to maintain calm in the face of terrible things. But
I was always thinking of him as my opposite extension, where sometimes he would be more suave, more composed, more well, everything.
it can be handy to have that sort of different self to fall back on.
And she just kind of nods and smiles, and she kind of cups her wine glass with two hands. And Dominic's just kind of looking at you. He also is dressed rather dashingly, right? It's kind of a variation on his usual suit with the shirt buttons, like, down a little bit, no tie or what have you, and then just kind of like in a different color. You can't quite tell in this light, but it is something not black, but very dark and rich. And it looks like it again, is bespoke, so.
And you, I mean, you didn't find the body, but you were there during all the chaos. Are you all right?
Yes, my greatest concern is that Claudia is well enough to keep going.
Naturally.
I mean, he doesn't really know what to say.
Yeah.
He makes as if he was going to put his hand like on Claudia's, but then like he kind of stops himself and then puts it back on the table, on his drink, And yeah, they're just kind of like contemplating the stage and such.
The entertainment here is extraordinary. I hadn't been here before.
It's very good. Frank always manages to find wonderful performers.
Oh, you know him.
She kind of looks a little bit sheepish now that you've kind of caught her in that. She was just saying out loud. She didn't mean for you to notice. Yes. Would you like to meddle?
I would very much like to meddle at this point in time.
With what?
She's like,
Uh,
yes.
I think this calls for, I think presence because I'm trying to be charming enough to wheedle her into saying a little bit more without making her feel pressured or overwhelmed.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, see if you can your skill, right? To see if you can wheedle her into just if you can ask the right questions, basically.
That's a 13.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Well now.
Well.
Like I said, I'm out of void clues,
That's
so
okay. I think
um
we've had enough creepy for the moment, but
Never.
although I will say, hold on. So you do get a clue. For definite sure.
We should just get bonus mystery clues then.
And actually, well, okay, so we can totally do that too, or hold
I
on.
like oars. Oars are good.
oars are good.
You can take an existing clue. I know you still have one that you need to put your thumb on the scale for. You could conceivably take an existing clue and change a little bit. This is not quite in the rules. This is something I'm borrowing from Apocalypse Keys. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I will let you, for this 13, I will let you, you know, take a clue and mess around with it if you want. Again, if you want to put your thumb on the scale. But let me give you a clue right now. And this is for you talking with Claudia and Dominic.
yes.
Yeah? All right, let me see what we got so far. Should have read off the mystery clues. Okay. While I'm figuring out which of these clues makes the most sense, what are you exactly trying to pinpoint in conversation? Do you have a specific goal in mind?
What her past relationship with Frank was.
Yeah, spill the beans.
Frank.
Hey, Pearl.
Hmm?
If we wanted to lean into the was it Flagrante being possible child
Mm-hmm.
in said shrine, there could be like one image where she's in the background, but she was pregnant.
Ooh. I like it.
Wow.
I like it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that this isn't the clue just yet, but I mean, like, I just want to kind of like lead up into it. So you're asking, and like, you know, you're doing your thing, like where you can really get people to open up about whatever you want them to, because people will talk. You know, the more you listen, the more people will talk. So I think as you're kind of like paying attention there, they haven't quite asked you to sit down, which is quite rude. But I mean, like, you know, you're just being casual right now during the intermission, and I think, you know, Claudia will start to say like how she's been here before. She's visited the candlelight booksellers, you know, to make sure that, you know, she has like, you know, her Black Love Mysteries in stock. And she knows Frank from a production that he did back in Broadway and such. And like while she's talking, you get this idea that, you know, she knows him very well. Although she doesn't get near him physically, right? They seem to want to stay apart and not get physical. But while you're listening to her talk and she's kind of like, you know, trying to stay as neutral as possible, you do notice that as she's talking, Dominic's eyes move from her, like, you know, this kind of like, you know, not glassy eyed, but kind of like just soft, tender gaze upon her, and slowly move across the room to Frank, and they look at Frank for a beat too long, eyes full of contempt. And that is your clue. I'm going to put it down as it's written here, but we will say that Dominic gazes at Frank for a beat too long, eyes full of contempt. That is your clue. And she just says that, she ends with, as she's talking, and it's been always nice to come back here and feel like I am welcome. Between my mysteries being on the shelves, along with my good friend Robin's, and having a place to be cozy and yet be anonymous. Don't you get that feeling here? Just so soft and in the dark. Anything can happen in the dark.
True.
And perhaps her gaze kind of drifts over to Frank. She has not noticed anything about what Dominic's doing. So she's kind of
Okie dokie. Well, I will. Oh, I think maybe the intermission's about to end, so I should get back to my seat. Don't want to miss a minute of this.
Flagrante is excellent. Yes, make sure you stay for the whole thing. Sometimes she will do something with a twist at the end.
Very good.
All right, so look now. You got 11 clues.
Yes.
11 clues for a
Cutting us off.
complexity 7, okay?
That's only a +4 if we can use them all. If we can use them all, that's the problem.
If you can use them all. Well, all right. So, I mean, we have just gone with Pearl, and she's, noticing a lot of goo-goo eyes, back and forth. What are Sai and Mazi doing?
Goo-goo
Walter
eye
has
and
not come
Frank?
back,
No.
just so you know.
Walter's gone, right?
Yeah, Walter hasn't reappeared yet. No.
Hi, Walter.
Considering the current situation, is there anybody else here that we would want to talk to, or should we start theorizing?
Hold on, let me take a little look-see
So I was trying to
here.
think who else would we want to even talk to.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you could
Didn't
try,
really talk
but
to Tess Blow.
no.
She was kind of in the opening scene and then didn't come back.
Yeah.
It's hard, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of interesting people here, but I mean, yeah, it's kind of tough to have them. But like I said, there are people here that you would have thought would have been otherwise occupied, because I think Tess had a room over at the Blue Velvet, but she's here. Erica Valentine, who definitely would have been investigating, put on the task by Dalrymple, of course. She's here, looking as if she's acting as security / a bouncer, but that's not the point, right? She's she's in civvies, but she still looks official. It's weird. Like I said,
It's all in the
Dominic's
body
here.
language.
Yeah, it's all in the body language.
Pearl is an authority on this.
Yeah.
Pearl's definitely authority, for sure.
I'll say I want to schmooze with somebody. I just don't know who.
Yeah.
So
Tess,
because
Erica.
I do have the Frank Columbo move that I haven't got to really use.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to be a part of that.
Huh?
Everyone said, "Oh yeah," so I said, "Oh yeah," too.
I thought you wanted to be part of the Columbo move.
I did too.
No.
I was like, you can be. I'm not saying you can't.
No.
along.
I'm good.
Maybe I'll try to go talk to Flagrante then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Just before the next set starts, sure.
Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, because maybe that's why you had an extra long ability to talk with Claudia and Dominic, is because Mazi went over to talk to Flagrante.
Yeah.
Give you some extra time.
Nice.
Yeah, so kind of just maybe I'll go grab a drink from the bar to take back. Something like a martini. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a fancy drink.
A Manhattan.
All right, a Manhattan.
Or a Cosmo if you're into sweet drinks. I was like, okay.
Nah. I think Flagrante would be into something like not sweet. Spicy.
Ooh, okay.
Something spicy.
Shot a fireball.
Yeah.
With 2 olives. There we go. No.
Yeah.
Shaken, not stirred.
Fireball
taste
with olives.
terrible. Oh no.
I think as you're maybe as you're coming up, and Flagrante is just kind of like, they're sipping at a different drink, or just kind of like, you know, with getting ready. Actually, they would never do that. I'm sorry, a singer would never do that. By the way, that's
Yeah.
actually more damaging to their
Yeah.
chords. But anyway, just being like very what's the word, affect, with a lot of affectation and such. Sees you coming up and then says, "Oh, hello. Have you ever had the Mucky Point mashup?"
No. Is that one of the specials of this evening, or?
It is a drink that is available here. Yes.
I just went with one of the specials of the night. And I actually have 2. I have one for them as well. Like whatever.
Oh, okay.
The
I mean, if
spicy
you-
special.
Right. Because I mean, like, whatever you're handing them is like, they recognize as being like a spicy special. But then that's when, like, Flagrante will ask you. It's like, if you know about the Mucky Point mashup.
No, I actually have never been here, so I'm enjoying the various choices of beverage as well as the company.
Well, if you ever want to come back, which you should, the Mucky Point mashup is even spicier than this. And they
Ooh.
take a sip of that drink that you bring them.
Mm.
Looks a little sludgy, looks a little grimy, and just really delicious. And
Almost
this is
like
where
one
they
of
will
those
move,
mudslides.
yeah, and they will like move their tongue, like, from one side of their lips to the other,
Mhm.
like just delicious,
Mhm.
you know.
So you put on a wonderful show so far.
Thank you. And just kind of like simpers and just like, actually looks pleased. You would never have suspected if you hadn't seen them,
Elias
earlier, that
Okay.
was Elias. No,
Okay.
never would have suspected it. Because they look so beautiful, right? Like I said, a younger version of Claudia. I think Sai, if you're right there, I mean, like, you're just kind of like, it's like looking at one of Claudia's like cover shots, like, back in the heyday, like even down to like, probably the curl of the hair.
Seems
Inside.
intentional.
Yes, very intentional. Yeah.
So am I in like I guess like dressing area, or
No, I mean, well, like, yeah,
kind of like a
behind,
lounge,
right behind the,
upstairs, like
yeah,
lounge?
there's a lounge area like right behind the curtain, for
Okay.
sure.
So I'm gonna just grab one of the stools or seats or whatever, slide one over. If Sai came along, I'm guessing, so slide it over to Sai. If not, you are along now.
Woohoo!
And just be sipping, and I guess I'm trying to think what kind of information I want to get. I mean, Sai's the one that saw the board, so maybe mention something about that.
And then it's like, Flagrante will throw herself onto a settee, like that's behind there, and then just kind of like, cross their legs and then like put their elbows on their knee and then just like kind of look at you and tap their lips with a gloved finger. So, what do you know? Give me the dish.
About what
You just, again, this
specifically?
is like a complete persona different from
Yeah,
Elias.
I'm like, what is happening? What do I know about what specifically? Everything? Anything? Nothing?
All the tea. I mean, it seems like you ladies have been around.
I'm trying to think if Mazi is hip enough to know that tea is gossip and not like oolong
Not
and
literally
black.
tea.
Like I feel like she has a cricket phone, guys.
I mean, you can interpret it any way you like. I mean, you know, like it's like Flagrante is like really just trying to have like a calming conversation, right?
Okay.
I mean, like it's their thing.
So yeah, kind of lean and be like, well, I know. I'm trying to think what saucy stuff Mazi would know. Mazi doesn't think of it. I know.
Because your Columbo move, like, you know, makes it seem like you are
on the up and up with everybody, right?
Hold on. Let me take a look at it. Here we go. Something about you causes the elite of society to not take you too seriously. What is it? And once per session, when you do the meddling move in a place occupied by the rich and famous, you find an additional clue even on a miss, with an additional void clue on a 12+, which again, it's like that's kind of like not applicable at the moment because you guys are overflowing with void clues.
But to be fair, do I ever get a 12+? No.
Again, it's like I don't know what you need to do to your dice to convince them to be more than kind. I don't know. I don't even know the secret to that. But yes, yeah, I mean, like if that's what you want to do for the meddling move.
I would say I'm going to...
I mean, what do you say if you're going to Columbo through this?
So I was trying to think of a way to use maybe sort of like hint or drop in one of the clues sort of that we found. Like that might catch her interest as well. But the only one I have would be the elaborate shrine that Sai saw. But I was thinking maybe I got an idea. Okay, so I will I'm gonna ask Flagrante if she's read the latest magazine of the S&M magazine. And like how, like if they're like she has the subscription and such, and try to take like one of those wild stab in the darks about like an article that might be in it. You know, like, oh, did you read the one about, I have no idea what would be an S&M magazine article.
which again, if like you're gonna be, you know, a little bit ridiculous, it actually fits. It actually is fine like because at the first mention of the S&M, it's like Swift? you know, like Flagrante will put her hands on her knees and just be like, "Ooh, look at you." Yes, so give me the roll so I can get the reaction.
All right. So then what do I get because I'm trying to use my move?
Your move. It doesn't tell you like exactly what to do with this. Let me see.
Just says you find an additional clue, so I don't get an advantage or anything. I just get the
right. But I mean, I think you want to roll with. If you don't want to say presence because it's not your charisma per se, but it's your composure to be this befuddled, bumbling type of. You're trying to pull something off. Right.
I'm trying to fit in, even though I obviously have no idea what I'm talking about.
Right. So yes, if you're Columboing through this, then I would say composure.
All right. Not bad. It is a 10 total. So 6 and 2 plus 2.
All right. 10 total. You definitely get a clue. And you get an additional clue.
Mm-hmm. I didn't fail, guys.
You didn't fail. Oh my god.
Let's all celebrate. I did not fail.
No. It's wonderful. In fact, you had a nice success, so that was great. Solid success.
The first one, like, in, 5 sessions, I feel like. I don't know.
Okay, so let's see.
You have had more than your share of bad luck with the dice.
What's your total? 2.
2.
2, my lord.
Look at you! What was that?
muted that
That
time.
was so brilliant. I'm so sorry. That's so good. I'm so sorry. Okay. I think at like, you know, what you're trying to tell Flagrante about the S&M magazine and asking them about it, they're like, well, no, I haven't personally had anything to do with that sort of stuff. However, they get really sing-songy about it. I think they're going to mention, now don't say anything that I said anything, but kind of seen certain things that could, you know, say some kind of illicit business run out of the Silenzio. But you didn't hear it from me. Shh. So, evidence of an illicit business run out of Club Silenzio. And then, let me see if I can get you another clue. You're the ladies that read, aren't you? I mean, I read too,
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm more into the more of the
Romanticy. I hear that's big with the kids.
Oh, think a little stronger than the romanticy, right? So you get me this drink. Like, I read the Mucky Point mashup of the reading. No, but do you know some behind the scenes type of thing behind some of these mysteries and stories? You know, they always say that there's, what is it, life imitates art, or sometimes there's more than a little truth in fiction.
I think it's truth is wilder than fiction.
Oh, that too.
Yeah,
sure.
Well,
Stranger. Yeah, that one.
I've heard that there's a character in one of those black glove mysteries, and it's this word, like, you know, she waves her hand. One of those black glove mysteries that's just really unflattering. And it's a caricature of somebody that you know. That, well, you might know. I don't know if you actually know. You know who I think it is?
No.
Who?
I think it's Tess. Tess has said a few things, I'm sure. Pissed Claudia off.
What?
You know, gotta be careful around writers. You never know whether they're going to laud you to the skies or bring you way, way down to hell.
Actually.
So, that is another clue. Character in the Black Glove Mystery is an unflattering caricature of, and I'll name it right here, of Tess. Okay? But you didn't hear it from me.
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm more selective in what I read. And oh my god, that cover. What the...
You're welcome.
What the what? For the recording, the cover that has been posted in here is Morning Glory Milking Farm. I am not going to look that up because it is right there, and that is... Wow. Wow. WTF FTW. Wow. Anyway. Okay. So... Sigh, do you want to do any looking around and then add to the pile of clues that you guys have seemed to have amassed?
See, how many do we have? 13.
13 clues on a 7 complexity. You're really trying to beat your record, I can tell.
But we have to be able to use them all, remember?
You have to be able
Oh,
to use
yeah,
them all.
we'll
Otherwise,
make
your
it work.
record has not.
Was it
Has not
16
been
is the
broken.
record? No.
Yes.
Is it really? I was just
16 is your
joking.
record. You've
Oh,
set.
jeez.
I mean, I haven't seen it from anybody else, so. What the hell?
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. Because I would like to see if Sai wants to do something before we take our break.
Fair.
No, nope, I'm good.
You sure?
I am, yep, just along for the ride. No meddling needed from this particular octogenarian murder mystery solver.
But I will say, it's like, maybe maybe as Flagrante is talking, I'm gonna say that maybe Sai, you're like starting to harken back. Maybe it's the smokiness of the venue. Maybe it's the dimmish lighting or whatever. But something about watching Flagrante talk. It's kind of harkening you back to those, you know, before times when you were young, you were at Fashion Week, you were watching Claudia on the catwalk and such, but maybe you've even seen some in-person interviews with her. You'd swear to goodness that watching Flagrante, you're watching an old interview of Claudia.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. So
Snaps.
we were just discussing like the gross drinks that seem to be, part of individual table lore, and Mucky Point mashup. Kathleen put in whiskey, seaweed, and teeth.
So gross.
Oh my god. So yeah,
Hard pass.
hard pass. But okay, so we have 13 clues on the board
Just the 13.
for a complexity 7. I'm gonna read them off, and then Pearl TBD is something that Kathleen, you can put in as I'm putting my thumb on the scale what I think it is, okay?
Mhm.
Then we have evidence of police corruption, risque postcards from Italy signed E.V. Hyacinth is on one of them, a close-up photograph of a blue eye reflecting a slender blade, a repressed memory of an act of wanton violence recovered, an anonymous message in perfect Italian, il fine giustifica i mezzi. The end justifies the means. An overwhelming aroma of wine and leather in an unusual place. An S&M magazine from the 70s with several pages torn out. A threatening note seemingly written in Pearl's own handwriting. An elaborate shrine to Claudia's past modeling career. Dominic gazes at Frank for a beat too long, eyes full of contempt. Evidence of an illicit business run out of Club Silenzio. And a character in a black glove mystery is an unflattering caricature of Tess, the book critic. Have at it. I guess we are in our freewheeling discussion to theorize and see what the hell is going on.
Okay.
Any ideas?
Downward
Any at
vote.
all?
Downward vote.
Are we in agreement that Elias is Claudia's child?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which I'm thinking makes Frank the father.
Reasonable.
Okay. Now
Something
remember,
happened.
the two victims. Hold on. Two victims are
Right.
Are Scarlett Waitley and Anthony. What's his face? Which I can't remember off the top of my head.
I don't think we gave him a last name.
He has a last name.
He has
Anthony
a name
Wilkes.
somewhere.
Oh,
Anthony
Wilkes. That's
Wilkes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Anthony Wilkes is a number one fan, kind of stalkery. And then, of course, Scarlett is the photographer that was supposed to be taking pictures for the book event, but also has quite the interesting studio set up. So, all right. Sorry, just wanted to make sure we knew who got killed and why, and like we're trying to
Right.
figure out why. Yep.
Yeah, the Y is where I'm.
Okay, I think this is tied up with kink in some way.
Okay.
Because we have the S&M magazine, we have the studio, we have the evidence of an illicit business, which could, be selling
Illicit postcards.
For all we know, at this stage, it could be selling fake extra virgin olive oil, but that's not very interesting.
It's only
So
virgin olive oil.
I'm going with sex club.
It could also be doctored, like forgery type stuff.
Ooh.
Something
It
like
could
that,
be.
because you have
We do
the
have the-
handwriting and you have the picture of Psy that may or may not be factual.
That's true.
Like they were made on request.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking that the aroma of wine and leather in that alley may indicate that the alley behind the bookstore has some connection to the sex club,
To Silenzio.
to the club that's run out of the back of Silenzio.
Okay. To the
Does that make sense?
the speakeasy of the speakeasy.
Yes. Speak even easier.
The easiest speaker. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see.
All right, so illicit business. Then you've got the threatening note, the illicit poop. I have it. Okay, illicit business. The close-up for the risque postcards. You've got the S&M magazine.
I'm thinking it's possible that if that magazine was Italian, that it may have had Claudia and Frank in it.
Oh my! What?
She was a model. He was an actor.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, but then who done it?
Well,
Let's go through the
I'm getting there eventually, I think.
Right. Right.
And the reason that magazine with the pages torn out was in Scarlett's studio was that Scarlett was planning blackmail using those pages. And met the end that many blackmailers do.
So do we think that Scarlett was a blackmailer or a forger or both?
I think she was a blackmailer, but I think somebody who's working in or around the club might be the forge. And she may have worked with them a bit. But I have a feeling she was blackmailer.
Okay.
Correct
And
me
now
if
forging, if they're, I hate that word. If
Forging?
they're forging, if they're falsifying
Forging.
images, they would have to be a photographer or somebody who knows photographs in order to falsify images.
It's true. That's true. You need the skills.
Or you have somebody that's really good at doctoring the photographs after you do them.
Right,
Like,
but
happy
being a
Photoshopper
photographer
or something.
tends to go with the
Hand
skill
in
set.
hand, right?
But who's to say that, like, she wasn't working with somebody?
Yeah.
Somebody else.
That's entirely possible. I'm thinking that Dominic is full of contempt for Frank, but I think he's also jealous. Contempt for having lost Claudia or whatever came between them, which may well have been her getting pregnant. But I think Dominic wants to be closer to Claudia than he is.
Yeah.
He could have been engineering things to frighten her so that she would rely on him. He'd be in a position to know what was in her book that she's working on.
Yes.
Ooh.
And stage the murder, the first murder, in eerie parallel. And then he could be all, oh, it was so shocking what I just found.
So we think it's Dominic.
He
think
was
it's
present
possible.
at both murders.
Yes.
That's true. He was present at both murders.
And he has the motive of wanting to either protect, manipulate, or... Yeah, to protect or manipulate Claudia.
Okay.
I think
Do we think that's where the repressed memory of active wanton violence, like, underneath all that composure and poise, like, and Italian model wannabe? I mean, like, he's secretly
Snapped.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll buy that.
Because
I can
Scarlet
see that.
wanted to back out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She was, and that's why she had the all of the postcards with her. Is because she was going to talk to him and be like, look, this is too much. I needed the money, but now I don't agree
This
with
is going too far.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this makes perfect sense because he really wants people to know how good he is at Italian, so that anonymous message in perfect Italian, il fine giustifica I mezzi. Could be
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're pointing at Dominic. Okay.
Okay, so we've got left. He might have.
Dominic
Okay.
have blue eyes?
Hmm?
Did Dominic have blue eyes?
I don't remember what I said. Hold on.
Yes, he has blue eyes.
Yes, yeah, yes. Okay.
The blue eye reflection.
You have established the fact that he has blue eyes. Okay.
Yeah, so the close-up photography.
But wouldn't the photograph be of the person looking at the blade, not the person holding the blade? So it's actually
Not
Scarlet
necessarily if
who
you're
has blue
holding it
eyes.
up.
Oh, she's holding up the picture.
It was
If you're holding up a
accidental.
blade in front of you, she was trying to get a picture of the killer,
Yeah.
but it was dialed in too narrow.
Ah.
The focus was too narrow, and so she
Perfect.
just caught the eye.
Yeah. It's hard taking a picture when you're being murdered.
It is. It's impressive that she did as well as
Very
she did.
hard.
Although it could also be like the saturation, where you can change the eye color by virtue of like you raise the contrast, the brightness, whatever the hell, whatever. Because, well, don't forget Frank has got like some really nice blue eyes as well. So
Yes, he does.
I don't know. It's,
True.
boy.
So we need to work in the police corruption
Your clue, Pearl,
and my clue.
and the elaborate
The
shrine to
shrine.
Claudia and the character.
Well, were we going with one of the photos on the shrine? We
Yes,
talked
one of the
about-
photos on the
Yes.
shrine is evidence of the pregnancy.
Ooh. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe
Go ahead.
Elias discovered that Claudia was being blackmailed. Hold
She
on.
did get a threatening note.
Do we have two killers? Dominic set up the whole thing elaborately with Scarlet to match the setup in the book and so on and so forth, and that doesn't match the MO of guy in her hotel room that has no connection to her to her books. But if Elias is trying to protect her, was horrified by the first murder, afraid she was a target, caught someone in her hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we think
Are we thinking that? Okay, so if I'm hearing correctly, it's like it sounds like you think Elias did the second murder.
I think possibly.
He would have had to do it before
He was at
Claudia
work
even
at the
went into
time.
her room. Like he
Yeah.
was.
yeah, but he works in the
Unless-
hotel. I mean,
Unless he managed to do it like as a sudden murder, like an impromptu murder.
Yeah. I don't think it was planned. I think it was that he went to her room for some reason,
Drop off
found
towels.
someone who shouldn't have been there,
Mm-hmm.
thought, "Oh my God, this person's here to kill Claudia, my mother."
Mm-hmm.
there was some kind of fight.
Yeah, stabbity stab or strangly strangle or whatever.
Right.
I don't think we ever got cause of death on that one.
Mm-mm.
And then zoop back to be meek and mild self back at the desk.
Right. Nobody could pull off moving around the hotel that quickly and the transformation of personality necessary to go from a violent act like murder to working behind the desk like Elias could.
I
Yep.
like it. I like it. So where do we fit in? Where do we fit in the evidence of police corruption and the character and the mystery, as well as like whatever clue you want to put in there, Kathleen? What do you
Right.
think?
Kathleen's clue was the
Well, that was
Okay.
no, that was my
Weak.
the clue
You
I
got
haven't
to
decided yet
change.
was earlier. I got to
Okay.
change one just now. So,
Okay.
how's this for the police corruption?
Mm-hmm.
The police are protecting the sex club.
The
Because they're
illicit,
being paid off.
right? Maybe they're customers even.
Yeah. Oh, don't make me picture Dalrymple there.
Sorry.
Sorry. That's the best.
I mean,
Oh my god.
Ugh.
somebody's got to do it.
I mean,
Oh.
he's
So
entitled to a
loaded.
personal life as much
Yeah.
as anybody, but
Oh,
I just don't want to be part of it, even
Nope.
Even
at
in,
a remove.
even in imagination.
Not
Yep.
even imagination. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Nope.
Okay,
He
great.
can do what he likes as long as he's not harming anybody, but don't make me think about it. Uh,
Oh my
Anywho.
God. Anywho. Sorry.
I don't know if we can work in the unflattering character
Yeah, I don't
of
think-
Tess.
I think
Um,
maybe that one is the outlier.
Yeah. I think it wouldn't be unusual for an author to work in like a little dig at somebody who'd written about their books critically, but I don't think we can particularly fit it into
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
necessarily.
it's related to murder.
Yeah.
Right.
Just it's a red herring.
Right.
Or maybe it's a point of pride, or like, it's like it's irrelevant to the case, but yet perhaps it is a point of pride if we like, think 99.9% that Elias is Claudia's son, in which case he's gonna be like, don't mess with my mom kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like just
True.
mentioning it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because she's still alive.
Right.
Yeah, she might be the next target if we don't put a stop to this, but
Yeah.
Somebody's got to put a stop to it.
yeah,
anyway.
either Dominic in a fit of overprotectiveness or Elias in a fit of overprotectiveness.
Mhm.
But I don't think I think Dominic's motive is 100% manipulative rather than protective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Sure.
Um,
And then
And-
evidence of police corruption, we think it's just about the club? I mean, how is that related to the case at all, or is that just something that we know as circumstantial or whatever? What do we think?
Well, we know Frank owns the club.
Mm-hmm.
What if
So-
perhaps Claudia is like a silent partner?
Ooh.
And that's like originally
is-
they had gone in on it together and
they
kinda
still
opened
have
up.
the financial connection, even if the emotional connection is,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
So obviously there's corruption because they want to protect her and maybe Dominic to cover up so that she
The
doesn't
money keeps
withdraw the
coming in.
funds.
Right.
And yeah,
And the cops are
patrons.
not giving the lead investigator on this case all the information that she needs to solve it
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because
They're
they're
clearly
protecting their
keeping her
payoffs.
in the dark. Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I like that. Okay.
So what is my thumb on the scale here?
Yeah. How does it affect the case, if at all?
Let's see.
So just to clarify,
It's- oh,
we're
it's
thinking.
gonna.
Well, so we think that like Dominic's stuff has been way too premeditated. Like he's been working with Scarlett, in some way, or because Scarlett was a blackmailer, that
Mhm.
Dominic is protecting or manipulating by covering Claudia's extracurriculars, I guess you want to call it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, Okay.
He's saying see how close you are to danger. Don't even think about pulling out or doing anything that
You
would put
need
at
a strong
risk.
man around. Haven't you always said that women are the victims and men are the doers?
Exactly.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. So in Agatha Christie mystery, like, you know, one of the recurring themes on some of the mysteries / short stories is the fact that there's a femme fatale that doesn't necessarily know that she's a femme fatale. Like, there are guys that will just do stuff for her. She doesn't understand why there's like bar fights like in her presence. She doesn't understand, like, you know, why people would do these sort of things, you know. But it's because it's like, you know, she has this sort of like fatal charm about her. She's not using it against anyone.
Right. It's
more
not
like,
deliberate on her part, but
yeah,
that
it's
is
just
how men are reacting.
that's how men are reacting in their own way in order to keep her on her pedestal, right? Even though she doesn't realize that she is on one, perhaps. And so that's the magic of Claudia. And so, you know, Dominic's fallen under, even though seems like she's, you know, she's been for Frank, but then now is like kind of like, as he puts it very sadly, it's like, you know, he's she considers like Enzo Vitale like the perfect man or whatever for her. And then this thing with maybe Elias, like the impulsive, hey, don't fuck with my mother, I cannot believe that you're here, da da da, and then just like kills him impulsively because he wants to protect his mom. I mean,
yeah, I think we've nailed it. I think so. I think my clue is going to be, I think Dominic is carrying around a ring and he intends to propose.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead and change it.
Add the drama.
A drama.
That's 12 clues explained.
Unless you just wanted to lean in further to the Elias protecting his mom with the
I think he lied to you.
character, but
I think he might have lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
What if, Pearl, you try to remember like any kind of character in the Black Glove mysteries that, you know, Claudia has written about, but you do not recognize an unflattering caricature of Tess. But yet, you do recognize, maybe as you're thinking about it, it's like, huh, why does Dominic seem so familiar? What if the caricature was actually an unflattering caricature of Dominic?
And this ties in the fact that Elias is lying. He's trying to throw suspicion on somebody that he probably thinks has potentially wronged his mother.
Right.
If Elias thinks that those reviews were unfair.
Yeah.
That was an attempted frame up.
Maybe. So, again, I mean, it could be either or. I mean, like, you know, just don't really know, but, you know, we could call that the inclusion of that 13th clue. So, yeah. Okay, so now comes the most important question of all. Who's gonna roll with the +6?
I'll do it. I'm the only one who hasn't rolled this time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
2d6 plus 6.
2d6 plus 6. I rolled 2 6s.
Holy shit! It makes 18.
We probably solved it, right?
Yeah,
I think we
definitely
kind of nailed it. I think we kind of nailed it.
Okay, so I mean, because of this
Basically,
resounding,
like a written book that we just read, and we're like,
right, resounding success. My God, I mean,
just
like
like
so
that
much.
Black Glove Mystery.
The fanfare, the horns, you know, whatever, like the royal. I declare you knights of the romance table. No, seriously. I mean, I don't know how else to put this. I mean, if you want something exciting, you can do something exciting, or we could just narrate like each what we think happens.
I want something exciting, and I want Erica to be the one to make the arrest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's my vote.
So how do
there,
we
Call
right?
Erica.
how
She's
do we
there.
I know,
that's
but how do we
She's at
want to
the
do
call.
this? I mean, you want to get your
I know. Can't. Okay. Is this? I would like it to be called out or addressed or whatever. Like, I'm imagining Flagrante is like finishing up their act, and the spotlight, like as they're like hitting that like high note, swivels over and it goes to like Dominic, who's like getting ready to get down on his knee, and that's when we pull the trigger, and we're like, yeah, nobody.
I love it. Can we do it just that way? Because it's like I want Mazi to start with the oh nobody.
Oh hell no. I object. No.
This isn't a courtroom.
What do you say in the wedding when they're
Uh,
anybody
Speak
who has...
Now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, that one.
No, that's not how he's gonna propose.
No.
I mean, he probably starts off with getting like, you know, saying something in Italian, like when the spotlight swivels on him, and then starts to get down on one knee, sounding very poetic in Italian. But you know,
I will motion over to Frank to hit the house lights, to turn on all the lights in the room. You know, basically like, yeah, no, we're not doing this.
Kill the
and-
romance for the moment.
Yep. Murder
I
that
mean,
romance like
I
you
think-
murdered
I think-
Scarlet.
well, I think Frank is like quite agreeable to that because he was starting to realize what was happening and just like looks so disagreeable.
Yeah, so like as he's starting to say his like Italian nonsense, whatever, because Mazi doesn't know what he's saying. You know, Frank flicks on the lights, and Mazi, I'll stand up and I'll be like, "No, we are gonna kill that proposal like you killed Scarlet." Da, da, da. And then have
Erica's like, you know, unfolded her arms and just been like, what are you saying?
What is happening here?
and then
What are you saying, Miss Lombardo?
before I continue, you should definitely apprehend Flagrante as well. Erica. What's her?
And it's like, you
Is
know,
she
and then
deputy?
Flagrante speaks into the mic. What did I do?
Anthony?
Valentine. Tony.
Tony? Was it Anthony or Tony? I don't know.
It was Anthony Will.
Okay.
But I wrote Tony because
Oh, you're confusing me.
sorry. They're the same name.
Yeah.
And
so,
they just kind of like gets like, you know, kind of gets this look on their face like, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you sure you're not going senile?
I have. Wow.
Arrest that performer.
Arrest Elias right this moment.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking of like an Instagram / just like, you know, YouTube personality that is just so obnoxious. So or like no, not YouTube. Like I'm thinking like TikTok. Sorry, TikTok, Instagram. It's like.
I am gonna call out and say you need to. What is Claudia's last name?
Oro.
No.
Oro.
Yeah.
Oro. You need to arrest Elias Oro and motion to Flagrante, basically just like calling them out on the stage for the murder of Anthony in the room. It might have been unintentional, but that will be decided, I'm sure, in court. And then Dominic.
And I think Dominic's surprised. It's like, what do you mean, Elias Oro? This is
all
his name is actually Elias Vicario.
Oh. I don't think we
That's
ever
what
got
he
a
wants
last
you
name.
to think.
We don't have
EV, we
proof
never
of
got that. Oh, Enzo Vitale. Very good. Anyway,
that.
but Dominic, all the planning and research that went into your elaborate little scheme, setting up Scarlett's murder to look like the book, and it turns out you didn't even really know who it is you're trying to manipulate? Buddy.
Claudia, what is she saying? And this is where, like, I think at this point it's like, he's starting to get up from the floor. She had her hand in his, and she starts to withdraw it very slowly. And it's like, I did take that 9-month excursion, Dominic.
Well, and she doesn't have to explain herself to you. Arrest this man.
And then I think, because, like, getting involved in the moment, I think this is where Flagrante, like, speaks out. It's like, you tell him, Mom.
The room erupts. Oh my God.
I never saw that coming.
How is Frank taking all this? Because I don't know whether Frank knew Elias was his kid.
I don't think he knew either.
Oh boy! Good morning!
Ozzy can comfort him.
I mean, he's just like, he wants to go to her, but then he's like from his corner, from the light, next to the light switch, he's kind of like, Claudia? Who? And then like you see it dawning on his face, like you can literally hear the sounds of da, 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 like coming onto his face.
Yeah.
Right. So
The math is being calculated.
Right.
Calculating route.
Right, exactly.
Wait a second.
It's like, and then he's turning to you three, and going like, wait, what do you mean? Arrest Elias. Flagrante.
Like, Elias tried to protect Claudia. I fully believe that it was unpremeditated, that he may not have intended to kill. But found
There's
an
blood on
intruder
their
in her
hands.
room when there'd already been a murder. Drew a very natural conclusion.
Right. Anthony was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and also shouldn't have been in that room.
Flagrante, Elias will collapse and start to cry, and this is like probably the first time it's been like the most authentic out of anything that you've seen, at least with being Elias or being Flagrante, because I mean, like, it's not affected sobs, it's more like quiet remorse. And like you see the makeup running from the tears and everything streaking down their face and onto their gloves. And it's like, I had to. Anthony meant to do something to her. I couldn't let him. And he had all the stuff with him. I didn't have to bring anything. He brought what he was going to bring. And I think this is where Frank will go to him and then, like, just put his arms around his shoulders as he's collapsed on the stage. And Erica's, like, looking at you three and saying, so wait. Scarlett's murder was an elaborate plan by Dominic Bott? Why?
That's why it matched her book so closely. He was trying to scare her. And he was trying to scare her straight into his arms.
Oh, shit. Oh, the passion angle. Damn it.
You'd have gotten there. We just sped it up a little.
You don't understand. I mean, and she's starting to get upset, like, for her usual demeanor. It's such a waste to die for a trope.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awful.
I think this is where it gets a little exciting. I think this is where, like, Dominic, like, tries to bluff it off and say, it's like, not even close. You have gotten me so wrong. And he tries to, like, kind of like suave his way through it, but then as he finishes saying that last phrase, then he just books it. He tries to book it
I
out
was
of
say
out of
before
the
he
club.
says that, or before he tries to book it,
Yeah.
can I attempt to say his little Italian phrase that he had put on the card?
Okay.
But I'm going to butcher it.
Okay.
Like, so you could tell it's what I'm trying to say, like, or he'll be able to tell.
Sure,
but
sure.
he's like, I'm almost like throwing it like as an insult at him. Like the ends justify the means, but in Italian, which I'm not even going to attempt as myself because I don't know Italian at all.
I think this is actually stops him in his tracks because he just can't help himself. Oh, you peasant! It is, and then he'll read it off in perfect Italian, and then this is where, like, Erica's able to tackle him and like, slaps him.
Get him.
Handcuffs. And, as he's being, like, cuffed and, like, brought out, I think he's kind of like spitting as he's talking, and he says, soprattutto, above all, a writer is a fetishist. Detail of words. Claudia needs only to find the next thing so alluring, so macabre, that she can't let it go until she writes it down. If you ask me, and you should ask me, that is how her masterpiece will be made. He looks almost completely mad by the time, like, Olivia drags him out of the club.
Erica.
Erica.
Officer
Yeah.
Valentine.
Yeah.
Officer Valentine. Yep.
Well, how's Claudia doing?
Yeah.
She is stock still in her corner, where she was, like, her hand is clasped, like, she looks like one of her covers again, Sai. Like, unconsciously, because she's got one hand under her chin and the other one cupping her cheek. And she's just looking so stricken and just so, what is it, Botticelli, I think, is the painter, very, and, like, her hair's like in flowing tresses and such, and she just looks like she's, again, and she looks away from where Dominic was dragged out of the room, and then looks towards her son and her former lover and,
/ business partner.
Yeah.
We didn't mention any of the sex clubs.
No, I didn't mention any of that
No.
kind of stuff.
No.
And just kind
I
of-
figured we'd go down to the station and kind of
Right.
fill
And
in
just-
some of that, maybe.
And just kind of looks a little
Some-
sad. I don't want them to. I know he has to answer to his crime, but he was trying to protect me. Is there any
He
way?
was. I think
Self-defense or something?
I think it's entirely possible there can be a mitigating defense here. And a good lawyer will know a lot more about it than I do, but I think that is entirely possible. And who knows? As awful as all this has been, maybe it's the beginning of some new chapter for you. With family.
Oh, the irony, right? New chapter. I mean, still remains to be written, doesn't it, Frank? And she kind of, like, reaches out a hand to him. And he kind of just like looks as he's still holding on with one arm to Elias, who's still sobbing in his hands. And he kind of smiles and will reach out to take her hand. If you want me.
Aw. True love.
Don't you want me
It's a bit messy,
back?
but I mean,
Yeah.
oh my
It's
god.
very messy.
Oh my gosh. And I think, unless you three have something that you want to say at closing out of this scene.
No.
Nope.
Oh, just
And for the record, I'm not interested in telling the cops about the sex club because I don't think shit should be illegal. As long as everybody's consenting adults, have fun with your bad selves. I don't care.
oh yeah, I don't care about that part, but the
Yeah.
corruption,
The corruption.
we gotta bring
Corruption.
that up somehow.
They were
Do we
withholding
though?
evidence.
Do we though?
Down,
Do we like
Ripples.
the cops
Go
that much?
down.
Uh,
We don't. True. If we do keep down,
any
Ripple, we
other
can...
crew of mavens, absolutely clean out the corruption. Just
Right.
the grifters are like,
Eh,
corrupt cops are convenient sometimes. I don't know. You can bribe them and stuff.
I mean, none of them are great drivers, so
Who
I'm
are we
in the
to
clear.
interfere?
I think as the strains of your conversation drift off, like, and everybody is
We're
either
chatting as we get.
milling about or or leaving, I think two things are seen by the camera that you mavens do not. I think it drifts into
Oh,
the back
snap.
hallways of the Silenzio, the hallways of the sex club, of course. There might be some sounds back there. They've been completely oblivious to anything that's been going on in the actual, smoky club. However,
Very nicely soundproof doors between the two, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
but then down this hallway, which is lit in a soft, sultry red, I think there's a hooded figure that is going down to one of the last rooms, and then taking a quick look back to the entrance back into Club Silencio, just kind of taking a peek, just making sure that nobody's following, and this hooded figure will duck into the last room. And then outside, as people are leaving and then just discussing like all of the strangeness of the evening, and the revelations therein, I think they're passing underneath the street lamps, going home in 2s and 3s. And then behind the street lamps, down a few of the alleyways they pass, there's 1 or 2 hooded figures just watching them pass.
Bum, bum, bum.
And I think one more by the water. It is a clear night, but the lights are low. Barely anything is on at this time of night. It's quiet. You hear the lapping of the waves. And then the lapping of the waves gets faster. And then it's like drip, drip, drip as something comes to the surface. And another something. And another something. And it's like we're getting their point of view as we see walking on the sands, but it's so dark, we can't see their footsteps. But they are looking at the line of homes barely lit at this time, the sleepy resort town of Brindlewood Bay. And up above, there is dark blue, but the bright glow of stars and perhaps clouds of nebulae up ahead. But then there's a slash of black and dark purple, and it almost seems to move, where it pulses open a little bit and then closed, and open and closed. When it opens again, it is as if the moon has peeked out from beneath some bushy eyebrow clouds, and you see a brilliant, glowing, blue-white eye looking out over the town. And that's where I want to leave it for tonight, because God knows we got some finale shit to do.
Woo! Yes.
Oh God. So date-wise, and I'm probably going to edit this part out, but I mean, like, you know, we're looking at the end of August.
Yep.
So, as far as I know, for the last date. But I usually like to do the finale in two parts. Actually, this will be the first time that I've done a finale for Brindlewood Bay, but I imagine it works the same as when I do the between, which is I could probably squish it into one, but I'd rather not. You know, for the setup and then for the finale, because you think it's gotten weird before, it's really going to get fucked up weird once we start the finale.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay?
Awesome.
So it needs 2. Holy crap.
This has been an amazing ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. It's not even over yet. That's the thing.
No.
I'm already sad.
I know. Oh, wait. We have to go
we should
through
do our
end of session.
final questions. End of
Yeah,
session
final.
questions.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. Oh, God. Last questions. Amazingly enough, nobody had to do any crowns today. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, we were actually rolling well.
What the heck, dice?
The dice know that you guys are going to be facing some tough shit later. So
Yep.
They wanted to give us a little false confidence there.
right. So maybe for the beginning of the finale, like, you know, you're going to want to definitely do some cozy moves to try to get rid of some conditions.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know.
most definitely.
Well, it's got to be at least a week later because JoJo needs to be fixed.
Oh, yeah.
and-
Oh, yeah, absolutely. For sure. Okay, so let's go through the mavens real quick, just to be sure that you've answered your questions. All right, Murder Maven solved a mystery, so add that to your check off. Pearl, did you share your wisdom with a young person?
Nah, not really.
Okay. Did you share a memory of a late family member?
No,
Okay.
but that's okay because I have gotten my last advancement.
Okay. Sigh. Solved a mystery.
Yeah.
Did you behave like a woman half your age?
Not this time.
Did you secretly undermine the authority of a local official?
Not more than usual.
I think you kind of did because, I mean, like, you know, you guys found all this stuff out, like, you know, underneath Erica's nose.
We sort of publicly undermined it.
Yeah, but, you know, like in between, like underneath, you know.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, Mazi solved a mystery. Did you share a memory of a late family member?
No. And I didn't share my wisdom with the young person either.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay. Goodness. Alrighty. So, yeah. Okay,
It's
now
funny
we
because I
can...
looked at those earlier and was like,
I'm like, oh my god.
and I was
Well,
like,
it's my
was
fault
like,
too,
no,
because I forgot to
I'll be
remind you
fine.
guys to like try to activate your questions somehow in the session. I totally forgot again. God dang it.
I looked at them. Totally forgotten.
That's okay. It's like, you know, we had homework, but I just keep forgetting. Jesus. You can tell I don't run Brindlewood Bay as much as I do between. And even then, like, there's some things I fudge. I admit it. I totally admit it. But I just get so involved.
You won't know
in
if you don't tell us.
Well, that's true. That's true. I get involved in the story. I get involved in the characters, and I just like want to watch everything that you guys do. Sorry, forget. I'm running a game. Really? I don't remember that.
Shoot.
Alrighty. So, stars and wishes. I'm just gonna say it off the bat. So, stars for all of those beginning bits with the cozy vignettes, the, like, you know, remembering into, like, from what happened previously into, oh my gosh, Pearl's dream. Kathleen, I love Pearl. She's just like so beset upon, and yet she's very real, and she's keeping it together by a thread.
Yeah.
You may want to have a talk with Adamas later. Who knows? Like, you know,
Yeah.
building up into the finale before, before shit hits the fan, because it will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, Mazi being so adorable and just like, no, can't do that. It's like, I object.
I object.
So fun.
I'm sure you're thinking the wedding thing when like
Yeah,
anybody who objects thought was.
No, but that was adorable. I can totally see that happening. And then Sai being so elegant and poised and just being like, yeah, Caviar's like seeing some shit, and then and I'm just like la da 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 da, I'm done, you know, everything's going on, it's fine.
We're
Oh man,
just here doing our thing.
everybody was just so cute today. Oh my gosh. And then that ending, that the putting together of the clues, I will say I was more involved than I normally am. I usually try to let you guys do your thing first, but things were starting to fall into place as you were trying to put things together, so I have to admit I did enjoy that a lot. So, was it the record? Probably, especially with the 2 6s. Jesus. So, yeah, 18. All right. Somebody's got to be putting that into the Brindlewood Bay chat on the gauntlet. Just explaining what we did. Oh my
13
gosh.
out of 13 clues with a 18 on the 18 roll.
On the roll. My God. Yep.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Beat the record from before. All
That's
right.
why I don't roll.
I was saving it up.
There you go. No, it was really good. So Chance was kind to you tonight, which was great. I would have been curious to see what would have happened if you had to roll a miss. Oh my God.
If we had that elaborate a setup and had to redo it, like
Oh, I think we would have had to take like.
I would have cried because
yeah,
it's
that
like
would have been crowned.
I would have no, because I will be honest. I mean, like, my thought was the next person to die would have been Elias. Like, would have been Flagrante. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Who is everybody really interested in and who would not want to die? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I've been like, okay, I guess you guys are cutting a commercial, right? Right?
Yeah.
Everybody? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Everybody gets to do it. All right. But no, that
do
is
our
me.
saucy grams on the grams.
Oh,
We
saucy
still need to
grams
do
on the
grams on the
gram.
gram.
Oh my God, that would have been so fitting though with the sex club. Oh my gosh, so fitting.
Oh my gosh.
There's still
We know
opportunity.
that this town has a sex club. We know that this town has a smuggling ring. We all this stuff that we've uncovered, and we've just said, "Yeah, okay, it's still out
Grams
there.
on the
Normal.
grams.
We're not getting in their way."
You know what? But the thing is this, right? By this point of your retirement, you're like, you know, live and let live. Do I have the spoons for this shit? No, I don't care.
Am I morally outraged? No.
Not really.
Does it really impact me that much? Not really.
Not really. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, all right. I'm done. I mean, because the only wish that I have is to hopefully round this out to a satisfactory conclusion in your finale where you guys feel like you've gotten the big roller coaster ride, like, you know, ups and downs and arounds, and like you feel like you went, yeah, you know, like at the very end. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping to give you.
Sweet.
So, that's my wish. Who's next?
All around stars.
Yeah.
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 I think it was a really good session. I think it was a lot of fun. And
It was fun putting together that epic theory.
yes.
I mean,
The bonanza. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
It felt super what do you call it? Like a what are those things they're on daytime? Like a soap opera.
Yes.
Like very soap opera-ish.
Yes.
yes.
And I like it though, because it was like, ooh, yeah, but then this person is secretly that person's dad, but like they don't know it.
An evil twin. Yeah.
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 So I did like that. And I like Mads that you jumped in more this time, because I do feel like you didn't say much the last couple ones and just let us like go hog wild, which is fun, but also we're menaces to society, and you know, maybe shouldn't be allowed that much free reign all the time.
Oh, you're my menaces to society. It's great. I love it.
And
I feel like I need a custom Discord title now.
Menace to Mad Society.
Oh
Makes
my
sense.
god, that's amazing.
I think for wishes, I want it to be creepy.
Okay.
I want to see it creepy.
No worries, it will be.
Promises.
I'd like to, are you done, Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to give stars to Kathleen, especially because of her crown that is delivering this scary, scary dreams.
Yes.
And to Mad for providing the scary, scary dreams. I think that really kicks off every session and just like sets the tone.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that. And wishes, I don't want it to just be scary. I'd also like there to be an element of danger too.
Oh yeah, it will be. You won't understand why it's happening. Like there'll be a slight exposition dump maybe, but I mean like it won't be as obvious, because shit's gonna just get really weird really fast.
I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how it plays out because each one of the mavens has a sensitivity of 0 right
Yeah.
now. So we're stumbling in blind essentially.
I love it.
Yep. But
So.
next time I take a crown, I'm gonna have a sensitivity of 1. So
Pearl.
Pearl's gotten enough weird shit downloaded into her
Yeah.
brain at this point that
Yeah,
she's
I
just
think
like,
that's
okay,
fair.
yeah, weird shit. Yeah. Okay, I get it now.
Although I have to ask, Luna, did you do that on purpose where Sai wasn't really talking that much because otherwise you felt obliged to talk really seriously? Is that why you avoided it?
No.
Okay. Just curious.
I want to take Walter along for the ride too.
Oh yeah, Walter's definitely gonna be there. Oh, yeah, actually, like that is a question before we get to finish off your stars and wishes. Please name, at least one, if not 2 or 3, of the side characters slash NPCs slash anybody that you would like to see again, dead or alive.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Have to give that some thought.
Please
Yeah.
do. There's some time, but I mean, like, I would like to know within the next couple of weeks because it's like I'm gonna add them to my overall picture of what the finale is gonna be like. So again, 1 to 3 people that you'd like to see come back for the finale, dead or alive.
I had forgotten that the guy who runs Bayside Bubbles has false eyebrows. Canonically. That's so random.
Oh, I love that detail. I think that's my fault.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful detail.
Oh, and don't forget about boyfriends. I mean, like, how
Oh,
are they
I want to see
involved?
Adamus.
Oh yeah. Not sure how they're involved, but we'll see. Don't know yet.
I hope I get to have at least one serious talk with Adamus before either of us dies.
Wow.
Jeez,
Hey,
think it's
you
so
never
grimly.
know.
Okay then.
I
Maybe
haven't
get some
taken that crown
danger.
yet, but I will.
No.
Uh,
Well, I mean, okay. The fair, right? I mean, because there's certain things that really lend itself well in the game, which I will say meta discussion, because when we do the thing with the theorizing, you're definitely taking a meta discussion where, like, outside of your characters, like, what you think happened and what they're planning on doing. So when we talk about things that we wish for, I am totally agreeable for letting me know what you want to see for the ending, especially if there's something that you're aiming to do before the character leaves the stage, either peacefully or not so peacefully. All right. It's how I play trophy, which is, like, if you go out, you tell me how you go out, right? I mean, like, you help me to help you go there. So yeah, feel free. I mean, if you don't want to put it out in the general chat, go ahead and let me know in DMs. But yeah, I mean, like the thing about the people, like, go ahead and put that into our group chat, because again, it would be nice to see who you want to see back.
I do have a quick question now that I'm looking at the crowns.
Yeah.
By default, do we start with a sensitivity of 0? Because if so, then I believe Sai and I should have a +1. Because we both have the crown that gives our reason a -1 and our sensitivity +1.
No, I started at a -1 for sensitivity.
I think everybody did. Everybody starts off in the very beginning of the game with sensitivity -1.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, yeah. But you might have put a point into. Can you put a point into it or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think one of my increases.
Starting points or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my advancements went into it.
Got it.
Because
I was like, how are we all at 0 if we took the crown that gave us a +1, but
math.
What is math?
Math is confusing. Math is confusing. It's fine.
I drive. I don't math.
Actually, like the transporter, it's like, he had everything down to the last kilogram or something like that. That like if you went over,
math, I think.
Out you go. Out you go. If you're like, if you went over like too much, then like, out you go. I did not plan for that extra pound. No, get out.
You're too fat. Get out.
It wasn't even that. It was just
Rude.
like if you want the car to go fast, if you want the car to get away, then like no extra people allowed. No, I love that. I mean, I think it's an incredibly strict detail, and I thought it was perfect. So anyway, that's just me. If there's nothing left, so we have several weeks, and I just need you to give me those answers about the people, and then again, if you have any specific ideas about what you see your characters doing for surviving or maybe not surviving the finale, then I'd love to hear them, right?
Yay.
You said
I'm so excited about the finale.
Things we want to do if we survive or don't survive, or how we want to go out.
Right. If you want to like have something to aim for, like, you'd like to see something specific, in the finale. I know, I mean, like I'm being very vague about it, but I mean, if you were going to, hold on, let me take a look at the crowns and stuff. If you were going to mark the crown of the void, yeah. If you were gonna like, just for say, going to be marking the crown of the void, like next, like in the finale, somewhere in the finale, it's like, how do you think you'd like to go out, or at least like what you think the leading up would be like, right? Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
In the between, I will say it's like you don't know until it actually gets to that point and it happens. When you're going to mark the blood-soaked portal, sometimes you have a better idea, like, looking at this very, like, slow burn type of game where it's easier to see, like, I think this is how my Maven goes out. Like, they've lived a very full life, and I think this is how they're going to go down, So that's just something to take in consideration. You don't even have to have an idea. If you don't have an idea, no big deal. But yeah, definitely want to know what people you want to see coming up in the finale.
Yeah.
Good luck. Happy gaming to you all.
I definitely.
All right. Have fun, guys, and I will see you in a few weeks. Oh my gosh.
Yes, indeed.
Oh gosh.
Looking forward to it.
Yay.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.